Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Becca Marino. Today is day 6 of my March challenge, 31 videos in 31 days. How exciting, we're already on day 6. Today I want to share a story with you from my past. So I spent a lot of my time living in a world of depression, anger, and feeling suicidal. So today's topic is depression, anger, and suicide. So from experience of feeling that way and now being where I am. So that's what I'm going to uncover in this video. And just as a disclaimer before I begin, anyone who is going through depression, or outbursts of anger or feeling suicidal, anything along those lines, and if you're touched by anything in the video or don't understand anything or it's not very clear, please let me just say that I'm not saying don't do something that doesn't feel right. Don't seek for help. I'm not saying any of those things. Seek help if you need it. Call the appropriate anti-suicide lines if where it's available to you in whatever country you're in. Speak to somebody. I know there's Samaritans in the UK. Everything I am saying is from a place of love and from what I understand from the 3 principles, and how I've experienced it on my journey. So from a first-hand experience. So for the longest time, from when I was about 15 till I was about 21, I spent a very long time feeling depressed and feeling angry for being depressed. I spent a lot of my teenage years feeling suicidal, and this wasn't a great time for me. And in my life in that time, all I knew was that I was very, very sad, and then I was angry that I was sad because I had a good life, I had a roof over my head, I had, food on the table, I had a family that loved me, and I had friends around me as well. So I had all of these things in my life and I was still unhappy. So I was angry that I felt unhappy. And then I was also suicidal, which meant I spent a lot of time thinking about killing myself. And I'm very grateful I never did, or I never would have known about this understanding and how life really works. What I now see, what was happening to me over those years, was that I was believing my thoughts to be true. So that's one of the things. So every time I got a thought that I'm sad or that this is a really big problem, I believed that thought, I held on to it, and I continuously overthought that thought to the point I was a very big overthinker, to the point that I overthought the overthinking. So I spent a lot of sleepless nights overthinking all my perceived problems and all the sadness I felt, and then berating myself and judging myself for feeling these emotions. What I see now is that the emotion of sadness is a normal human emotion. All it meant was I was having sad thinking. A sad thought popped into my head, whether it was something that happened in the past or just something sad. And then I would be feeling that. I would be feeling my thinking of that moment. Whatever thought popped into my head, that's what I would be feeling. But because I didn't know that missing link at the time, I thought, well, if I'm sad, there must be a reason. And when I couldn't find a reason, I got angry with myself for being sad. So I lived in this vicious circle of feeling sad and then judging myself very, very harshly for being sad. So like I said, sadness is a normal human emotion. Like when we go to a theme park, for example, we don't go to it for the food. We don't go to the theme park to sit and eat food or to watch something. We go to the theme park to go on the roller coaster rides. I mean, I do anyways, to go on the ones that twist you upside down and inside out. those are the kind of rides I go to a theme park for. And it's scary, it's an adrenaline rush and it's scary, but that's what you go there for. If you were to go to a theme park and there was a ride that just went straight, you would want your money back. So as a spiritual being, we came here to have a human experience, and that human experience entails sadness, anger, happiness, excitement, and everything in between. It entails all the human emotions, be it anger, sadness, or happiness, or whatever it is. So when we are feeling sad, that sadness doesn't need fixing. There's nothing wrong with us if we're feeling depressed, and there's actually nothing wrong with us if we're feeling suicidal. That feeling of suicide, of wanting to end your life, is a rock bottom kind of feeling. It's like, I'm not good enough. There's no point in living because it's just too difficult. So I might as well just die, because dying sounds easier. It sounds like an easy way out. Through my exploration with this understanding and my spiritual journey that I've been on, and I'm still on, the thought of suicide and giving up, and it's no different to the thought of I'm angry, or I'm pissed off, or I'm sad. There is nothing different with it. I feel like in this society today, whenever someone says I'm suicidal, it's kind of red alert, and they get put on suicide watch, and questions get asked and all these things, when really it's just a feeling. And that feeling has come from a thought has popped into our head that goes along the lines of, life would be easier if you were dead, life would be a better place if you weren't here anymore. And the difference between me and somebody who have gone through with committing suicide is that I didn't believe that thought enough to fully go through with it. And so if anyone is struggling within that area, remember that suicide thought is just a thought. A thought can't hurt us unless we believe it to be true and act upon it. So if we're sitting in the middle of depression or anger or suicide or whatever it is that we're sitting in the middle of, all of those can change overnight. Once we stop believing that thought, once we stop believing that story that I am depressed, or I am angry, or I am suicidal, when we let go of that story and we drop that story and pick up a new one and create a new story, like today, I am calm, I am peaceful, I am happy, I am abundant, I am grateful. Those are my I am statements. Those are who I am at my core and who I live as a human being. I don't live in a state of depression or anger or suicide anymore. I'm not saying I never get angry. There are things that, sometimes I just get a bit pissed off and I've had enough. But I don't go as low as I used to, because we can't go back. Life is continuously moving forward. And even if we feel like we've hit rock bottom again, that second rock bottom will never be the same as the first rock bottom, because we can't go back. It isn't possible. So if there's a period in your life where you were depressed or suicidal, and then you overcame it, and then now you're back in it, your wisdom and your knowledge is one step further. If we think of consciousness like a lift, and we think the levels of consciousness, right at the basement is, rock bottom is depression, anger, suicide. And right at the top is enlightenment and wisdom and love and other beautiful words. So when we're at rock bottom of depression, anger and suicide, sometimes the next step up, is not suicidal, just depressed and angry. And then the next step up is maybe just not depressed, just maybe a little bit angry. And then from anger, and maybe it's just, okay, I'm okay. Life's not so bad. I can do this a little bit. 1 second at a time, 10 seconds at a time. And it's this slow, if we like, slow level of raising consciousness, then life becomes like, you won't go back to that rock bottom, if that makes sense. If your lowest was once here, your new lowest would be higher up on that level of consciousness, if that makes sense. So you can't go back to the previous state of consciousness. It can feel like you've gone back, but you won't be back at the same place, because it's a new moment, it's a new time. And so you're getting different thoughts and maybe similar thoughts, but it's different. It's not the same ones. Like I said before, thoughts are continuously moving and changing and flowing off their own accord. And so once we move to a different state, a different level of consciousness, we're able to see the truth of these thoughts that arise in our minds when we are at our lowest. Once we come out of that and our thoughts change, like, I don't know about you, but when I was in that depressive state, I had days where I was like so happy and loving life and everything was great and magical, and then I'd be depressed again, because all that was happening was my thoughts were changing. And when I was fully present in the moment of what I was doing, whether it was playing with my little siblings, when, now they're 19 and 16, but when they were like 3 and 6, and and they were very little, and I'm just playing with them or watching TV with them, I was very present with what was happening. And what happens when we're dwelling on the past or worrying about the future is we've pulled ourselves out of the present moment, because there isn't a single present moment that we can't deal with as humans. Every human on this planet is able to happily and comfortably be okay in every present moment. And being okay means different things for different people in different moments, and different things for the same person in a different moment. Being okay doesn't mean, being happy and secure and living your best life. Being okay means that you're aware that even in your shittest times, you're whole and complete. There is nothing in the outside world that you need to complete you. We're innately born with that completedness, that diamond inside of us, that love, peace, and wisdom is always there, no matter how low we go. So I hope there was something helpful in today's video, and please leave any comments below or email me if you'd like me to speak more clearly in anything I've mentioned in this video. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you tomorrow for day 7. Lots of love and all the best. Bye.